Hey guys, it's Matty here, and welcome back to D with Matty Live show. And tonight we're going to be talking about bottle digging, but before we get into it, we have to go over our commercials. So, let's do that real quick. Are you in the market for a new detecting shovel? Look no further. Predator Tools has the best digging tools in my opinion. Made in America out of USA certified steel. I'm using the Model 24 Phoenix and I love it. It is amazing. So make sure you go check them out at www.predatortools.com. Make sure you guys go show your support to Everything Fun and Collectible. They've sent us a lot of great prizes for us to give away to you guys. So, you guys should go show your support and join the group. Once again, that was Everything Fun and Collectible on Facebook. And last but not least is Calico. Make sure you go check out their wide variety of things for you guys to buy at their shop. Once again, that was Calico. Make sure you go check them out. www.calico.com. So, tonight's guest with us to talk about bottle digging is the one, the only, Ric Savage. How is it going?
What's going on, Matty's audience?
So, as you can see, he is Ric Savage. For those of you who haven't heard of him, you probably lived under a rock for your entire life. No surprise there if you haven't heard of him. Anyways, before we get into the show, so tonight we're gonna be talking about bottle digging and no I do not with me. Oh yes, and before we get into the show, we're going to go over the giveaways for tonight. So tonight's giveaways are 3 Mercury dimes. We are giving away a Treasury Department, United States Assay Office, 50 Fell Street. Don't worry about that. 1971 mint proof set. That's pretty cool. And we're giving away a T-shirt along with a Calico pouch. The only size we have is large. It says, I believe what it says is "Pirates hate me a lot." So those are going to be our prizes for tonight. In order to enter in for the prizes, make sure you share the video, like, and say in the comment section that you shared. So, tonight we're going to be, once again, I know I sound like a broken record, we're going to be talking about bottle digging with Ric Savage. So, when did you last get out bottle digging?
Actually, I got out maybe a week ago.
Oh.
I was one of the early ones. I didn't get coronavirus, but I got sick. I was on a trip to Las Vegas at the end of February, and when I got back, I got sick, and I got my wife Rita sick. So we were already 2 weeks into self quarantine when the rest of the country kind of joined us.
Ah.
So we've been quarantined now since for about a month, for the entire month of March, and now we're in April. So I've only gotten out digging once because I felt really bad. They I haven't been tested for coronavirus, big shock, but they don't know. When I was tested, I didn't have the flu. They said I had some other kind of virus, probably a really bad bronchitis. So I haven't felt like digging, but I did get out once, and I've been excavating the trash pit for our family home, which has been in the same location for since the late 1800s. So I've been excavating. So I'm basically digging up my relatives' trash, my ancestors.
Ah. Man, if I could find my relatives, if I could find a place where my relatives used to live and, bottle dig and stuff there, that'd be pretty cool. So, let's see, do you have any, stories, or, interesting stories that you like to tell us from when you were out bottle digging?
Yeah, bottle digging for me, it's kind of like fishing. You know, when you go, it's not like metal detecting. Metal detecting, you have to spend a little bit more focus. Bottle digging, once you kind of find a spot, then you could just let your mind take a hike and you're just digging a little, digging a little, digging a little, taking off a layer, taking off a layer. So for me, bottle digging is kind of a zen thing. I put on my headphones or put in or turn up the music on my phone loud, and I just sit down and I just dig in a radius around me. I get lazy, but it's like it's recuperative for me. It's something I like to do to give my mind a break. So for me, that's bottle digging, and it's actually metal detecting. You can go out all day and get skunked and come back with 10 pull tabs and a bunch of aluminum foil. Bottle digging, you're always finding stuff, which is cool. It's like, bam, here's another one. Bam, here's another one. Bam, here's another one. And then it's like, geez, is it embossed? How old is it? What's the date on it? What bottle manufacturer was it?
Yeah.
So for me, that's the fun part of bottle digging.
Yeah. When I think I've gone out bottle digging a few times, and every time we've at least found something. It's just very nice. You like get to calm down and everything. Say like you're all like, I'm angry. You just go out bottle digging and you calm down. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's chill.
So, real quick question. In your opinion, where are the best places to like, go bottle digging?
Well, to me, I always look at rural areas first, okay? And I get asked this a lot of times. People say, how do you decide where to go? Well, bottle digging's easy. It doesn't have to necessarily be a historical area. You just need an area with houses that are 60, 70, 80 years old plus. Because any house that old in a rural area is going to have trash pits, or they use their privy hole or their bathroom as a place to dump all the stuff that they couldn't reuse. So they would chuck some of the bottles, cans, a lot of that of their one use stuff in there. And then, they would move the little wooden building over the outhouse around and they just keep digging new holes. So I like rural areas for bottle digging for that reason only. See, you don't have to live in Gettysburg. You don't have to live at Antietam. You don't have to be in Vicksburg, or you don't have to be at Valley Forge. You can just be in your hometown, and you just have to find the houses and let people, because it's there, and just get people to let you go poke around until you find it. It's common sense. How many feet away from the house would they be willing to walk and carry trash? It wasn't like they were going to hike 2 miles into the woods. So you kind of deduce an area, and then you grid it out, and then you work it until you find it.
Ah, nice. Yeah, mainly when it comes to like when for me, usually if we're like driving on the highway and we see an area full of like, like glass, it's like, maybe I'll check this out one day. And we do eventually, like we find stuff there somehow. And yeah, so basically, if it comes to my attention that maybe some of my viewers, huh? No. Uh, well, that's not what I was going to talk about, but it's come to my attention that maybe some people are and don't entirely know who you are. So could you give them a brief history of who Ric Savage is?
Ric Savage is a very gorgeous man. As a matter of fact, Ric Savage is known as the best looking man in the world. Captain Adorable. That's right. Right here, all day long, singing my song. I was the host of Savage Family Diggers and American Digger on Spike TV. I'm a retired professional wrestler. I'm a rock and roll hype guy. I'm a father and a grandfather. I have size 13 shoes and O positive blood. And Lord, I got some pretty blue eyes.
I can guarantee you, everything in those first few sentences was completely true, and that last one, along with everything else. So now that you guys know who Ric Savage is, you know why you should trust every single thing he says. So anyways,
That's right, except for stock advice. I've got no clue. If you're trying to bet on the stock market right now, good luck.
so anyways, back to back to your regularly scheduled program. Um, So, real quickly, for all of you people watching, if you have any questions for Ric Savage, just put them down in the comment section. If it's not idiotic or it's pretty good, we'll ask him it. So if you go asking him, hey, how's it going? We might ask him that, but hey.
Somebody asked if they could see his shoes.
Someone asked if they can see your shoes.
I don't think you want me to go below the waist.
I'm gonna take.
I'm in my drawers. What do you want? We're quarantined. How many people, seriously, how many of you people out there right now are wearing the same clothes you woke up in this morning? Truth. I know I'm not the only one.
Anyways, yeah. So, do you have any advice for, like, I know you said earlier that you usually look for, like, rural areas, but say people don't really live near, like, a rural area. Do you have any advice for, like, finding a bottle site then?
Yeah, I mean, you could find a bottle site even in a more densely populated area, city. I mean, if anybody that watched our show in the first season, American Digger, we actually tore a hole in a parking lot of a Brooklyn, New York plumbing company to find some bottles and some other stuff as an old Privy site. But that's kind of what you run into. It's like anything else. Wherever you want to dig, you have to take into account whatever stuff has been added there over the past 10, 15, 20 years. So there's going to always be a lot of modern structure. They may have paved the area over and it may have taken off, you know, tons of layers of topsoil. You never know. So I look for that old house, a house that would have been there before indoor plumbing, or a house that would have been there before we had, sanitation, driving around picking up our trash. I look for that. And then I'm going to use my common sense and say, okay, obviously they had to have a privy here somewhere. Where was it? And that's where I'm going to start, in the rural areas, or in the more densely populated, because they use the privy holes more because they had less space to deal with. A lot of the rural areas, you had the privy hole and you had the trash pit. Didn't have that, or some of the towns had a public trash pit. We dug in the one of the first or second episode of American Digger. We were in Tombstone, Arizona, and we dug a trash pit that went all the way back. We dug a trash pit that went all the way back to the Wyatt Earp era. So, it depends on where you are. It's all depends on location. But for the non-rural digging, if you wanted to go like into Brooklyn or Queens, maybe after this is over, that's what I would do. I always look for the privy spots.
Ah. So, if we ever head up to, like, New York and for some reason get stuck up there and we have digging tools, look for a privy spot.
There you go. Always, man. Every house had one.
Yeah.
It just depends on what's on top of it now. Is it a garage, or is it a tool shed, or is it still out in the yard somewhere and they still got a yard? You don't know.
Yeah. I learned something there too.
That's why I'm here.
So let's see. How long have you been bottle digging for?
Bottle digging for the sake of bottle digging, not that long. I really haven't. I discovered it when it was actually my 90-year-old mother was like, why have you never gone up? We call it the old house in our family because it's kind of like our family museum. And she's like, why haven't you ever gone up and dug that? All this digging you do. And I just never been interested in digging bottles. And I said, I got nothing else to do. I was killing some time, and she seemed interested. So I went up and started digging, and it was like, wow, I got hooked quick, because again, I found, gosh, 200 plus bottles. Some of them scarce, some of them not, but I got some that are really, I'll show you one right here. This is a soda bottle, a sparkling soda. It was commissioned by Coca-Cola, but it was bottled in Asheville, North Carolina by a local bottler. So I kept that one because, I live about 45 minutes from Asheville. And this little milk bottle came from Waynesville, North Carolina, which was on the base of it.
Ah,
And Waynesville, 30 minutes from here.
nice.
And then this other milk bottle came from Canton, North Carolina, which is also about 15, 20 minutes away. So I found 3 local bottles, all of them from different time periods. It was almost like I went 15 minutes, then 15 minutes, then 15 minutes. So are they worth a ton? I don't know, but to me they are, just because they're not making them anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be worth a lot to be good. As long as it's worth a lot to you, that's what matters.
Exactly.
So, someone asked, have you ever cut yourself while bottle digging? And what protective
Yes.
clothing should someone wear?
I wear, because bottle digging, I don't like doing it in the heat of the summer. I just don't, because it's bugs and it's poison ivy. And
Yeah.
I don't like bugs. Poison ivy, I don't like either. So I always wear long sleeves. I wear rubber boots, long pants, and I wear gloves. But the thing about gloves is you gotta wear those heavy duty. Don't wear the little foo-foo gloves that you might want to wear in a snowball fight in Manhattan. You need a pair of work gloves with leather, with reinforced tips, because that's what'll happen. You'll be reaching around and slice. There'll be another. Right where the base of that bottle is, you want to pull out. There's an edge of another bottle, and it'll catch you right as you're going in.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to wear heavy duty gloves.
Yeah. If you go out there digging with, if you go out there bottle digging with like mittens on and you go to grab in, you're not only gonna have no fingers, but you're gonna have no glove anymore.
Pretty much, yeah. You gotta think, Carhartt kind of mentality.
Yeah.
You want more of a hardy, robust kind of a pair of gloves on, because I've gone through a lot of them.
Yeah. And someone else has asked, do you use a rod to locate a privy?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, my old friend, one of my dear friends, Bob Buttafuso, who was on our show in the first season, the the old guy, we like to call him. Bob is the one that taught me how to use a privy probe when we were out.
Ah.
So I've got a few of them of varying lengths, and we use them whenever we go to old house sites. Even if we find a privy site, even if we find a trash pit, I like to probe as much as I can, because again, with a privy site, there could be 10 or 15 of them out there. They didn't just stay in the same place forever. That would have made sense. They'd have been swimming around in it at some point.
Yeah. One of these days I should probably like use one of those rods to find a privy one of these days. That'd be really interesting.
There is a little bit of an art to it, man. There really is, because you got to know the difference between a bottle and a rock, and if you push too hard, you'll push a hole right through it. So
Ah.
there's a little bit of an art to the privy probe.
Okay, so I'll have to learn how to use it first. So, let's see. That was. So, what is your oldest bottle that you've ever found?
The oldest bottle that I ever found was digging a Civil War camps near, it was in Virginia, Culpeper. Yeah, near Culpeper, Virginia. We dug, all sorts of bottles. I've got whiskey bottles. Some of the guys I was digging with, and some of the other, they were digging, I guess, some of the other fire pits, they actually found like old Tabasco sauce bottles, and bottles like that we still use today, that were embossed back then during the Civil War. So
Ah, nice. Um,
If he goes on somebody's property, does he offer them anything?
um,
Somebody
I
else.
have two things. One is just if you ever go along the Mississippi and you find like an old Civil War whiskey bottle, just always keep those, 'cause remember, General Ulysses S. Grant fought along what's it called, the Mississippi, and he was an alcoholic. He loved whiskey.
Yeah, actually, Grant drank. He got accused of drinking even when he had stopped. There was a lot of, there was politics back then,
Yeah,
just like there is now. For Grant, it was Grant and Sherman. Sherman said he stood by. I stood by him when he was drunk, and he stood by me when I was crazy. So
yeah. So, let's see. What was the other thing that I was supposed to ask? What was the other thing I was supposed to ask him from someone?
Forgot.
Okay, never mind. So, what type of bottles do you consider to be good or old?
well, I mean, it's not about age for me. I'm looking for embossed bottles,
Ah,
like look, I'm like, this is a Rexall drug bottle. I'm looking for that embossing. I'm looking for a label, a name. That's kind of my thing. So I find tons and tons of bottles that are just bottles, and they're great. But what are you gonna do with them? So I always look for the ones like this with the advertising and the labels on.
ah. I also have a couple of bottles with me, and this is one of them. It's it says W. Warden from Forked River, New Jersey, which is right where I live, as you can see. And my dad will bring it
Yeah.
over to your camera so you can see it.
Oh yeah, man, that's a nice one. What is that's 1800s
It might be.
or late 1800s? It looks like. Has that
Mm,
got a panel scar on the bottom?
I believe it's 1800, yeah. There's no date on the bottle anywhere.
Yeah, you can look at bottles. If you take a look at a bottle, there's a mold seam, and you can date the bottle by where the mold seam runs. Like if it runs all the way up through the top of the lip, then the bottle is, I think it's post 19. I want to say 1920 when everything got machine made. But if it's got that little hole and that little scar in the bottom, then that's a panel scar, and you got a good shot of it being, prior to 1900.
Mm. So, there's also this bottle, and I'm gonna really quickly tell you some history. I'm gonna spit some history facts to you with this bottle. It says, registered Tomani Brothers, Long Branch, New Jersey.
This was dug, but not by
This
us.
this was dug not by us, but this bottle, from what I know, that
Your great
um
grandfather,
my great grandfather had a company.
brother,
His brother had a company, and what he did was they made drinks
and tomato sauce.
and tomato sauce, and they had their own bottles. And so the viewers can see it. It has if any of you have these, tell us. We'll buy it off of you.
Yeah, pick up there. Can't see anything.
This is what it looks like.
Or closer.
It has an anchor in the middle and it says Tomani Brothers. Let me hand it over to my dad so he can show you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. We have a bunch of bottles over here. If you have any bottles you want to show, you can also show them. My dad dug this bottle. It's a milk bottle and it's a 1 quart.
I dug about 20 of the same one that one day.
My dad had he dug 20 of these in the same day.
Yeah, milk bottles are a specialty. There's a people that collect just those.
Yeah. And you'll be able to tell there's like a similarity. Most of these are like found in New Jersey. This one's Long Branch, New Jersey. It says McHugh's Dairy.
McHughes.
McHugh's Dairy.
Yeah, Long Branch, New Jersey. That's right down there on the beach.
Yeah. If there's like when you live in New Jersey, it's like, oh, let's all go to the beach. You can drive there. If you live like one state away, it's like you can drive there, but it'll cost you a bit. That's the one perk of living in New Jersey.
And that one's not that old.
This one's not that old, but it's really interesting. It says delicious easy beverages. It just looks really interesting.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that one. Yeah, do you dig? I mean, I've got like this is what they call the amber crinkle bottle. This is the Orange Crush,
Ah,
the
nice.
1940s. The label was wiped out, but
Ah,
and then this was just like a little plain ink well or ink bottle,
ah.
probably 1940s.
Hey, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, my aunts or my family were all teachers and lawyers, so I found a bunch of inkwells up there. And I've also found a nice 1947 North Carolina license plate and part of a 22 rifle of some type. So,
Ah.
Ask him if he's ever
Um,
found anything else about commercials and stuff.
have you ever found anything, like that's besides the what's it called, the license plate that you mentioned? Have you ever found anything else besides bottles while bottle digging?
oh yeah, I look for anything with a company logo on it. So I found part of an old 1950s insecticide sprayer unit that still had the metal embossed, the label of the company from New York.
Ah,
I find all sorts of stuff. It depends on what kind of, how old it is, what the condition, what kind of soil. Just like when you dig, anything else. I found, bits and pieces of, the same as you do at any house site, tons of broken, cups and plates and all that stuff. And then, but I also find, kind of eerie. I'm finding like the leather soles of, shoes and little kids' shoes and, bits and pieces. That's creepy. It's like when you're up in the attic and you find that creepy old doll.
yeah.
It's got that one eye that keep looking at you. It's like that kind of
You
deal.
go down to your bed
So
and it's sleeping there with a sign and a knife, and it's like, I don't trust that. Yeah.
exactly.
This,
Ask him what that is.
we have found this while bottle digging. If you know by any chance,
It's glass.
let me first show it to all the viewers. It's all glass.
Show me end.
This is what the ends look like. They have little knobs. Show it to him.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any idea what that is?
Actually, not off the top of my head.
What's that?
So, no. Do you know what it is that?
I think it's a stirrer. I'm not
We
sure.
think that it's a stir. Like they would stir food with it. I don't know why they use glass for that.
No, not for
Oh, not
chemicals.
for
We
for
can
like
find a bunch of chemical
chemicals.
bottles out there.
Like if you had like a
Yeah, I'm
chemical
not sure.
bottle. And we also found these. We found marbles.
In that bottle.
They were in the bottle. We put them in the bottle.
Show me the different ones.
Let me
There's
pop.
some hand blown ones and everything.
There's a few like handmade ones in here and stuff. Eh. I'll eventually get one of those out one of these days.
There, I got one. And the blue one.
So like there's some handmade ones in there. There's like a few like regular ones. Yeah. If there's a certain type of marble, it's probably possibly in there.
Alright, you want to do a giveaway?
Sure, let's do a giveaway.
Let's give away dimes.
So we're going to do our first giveaway of the night. We're going to give away our dimes. The 3 Mercury dimes. So we're going to take the rather low amount of names tonight. Shake it up.
Make sure you tell people they should just comment they shared once. Because it's a little confusing also.
And also, if you, when you're commenting that you shared, please only do it once. Because we don't want to end up with like the entire bucket being one person.
Unless it's me, that's okay.
Unless it's Ric Savage, don't put your name in multiple times. The winner is Michael J. Boyles. Are you here? Michael J. Boyles. Oh, that's a lot of thumbs up. I just look over at the screen and like it's like a blue fire of all just thumbs going. So it's good to know that people are liking the show tonight. It's probably because you're on, to be honest.
They can't see my athletic calves though. That's a shame.
Yeah. So he is here. Congratulations, Michael J. Boyles. Get your information out to my dad, and we will send out your prize.
Somebody asked if Rick has a YouTube channel or
There
anything.
you go.
Ooh, someone asked if you have a YouTube channel.
There is a YouTube channel for Rick Savage's selfie stick history for the little videos I do. There's going to be a lot more going down on YouTube. We're going to start making some videos and digging videos, a lot of stuff. Have a website, all that coming. The coronavirus kind of threw us into a little bit of a tailspin as it has the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So everything right now is on hold, but we've got some stuff coming for sure. But if you're a social media person, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Tumblr. I think I'm on all that stuff. So it's official Rick Savage or heavy metal Rick Savage.
So you guys heard him. Make sure you go check him out on YouTube, all sorts of Instagram, all sorts of. If you heard him. I was just stumbling over my words there. Don't worry about that. There we go. So let's see here.
Somebody asked if he's wearing a robe. A wrestling robe.
Someone asked if you're wearing a wrestling robe.
A wrestling robe? No. That's when I go to bed. Always wear my wrestling robe to bed. It's right before I get into bed. It's like, woo! Now that's Ric Flair.
Do you dive bomb into your bed?
Now, if I dive bomb into my bed's going straight to the floor. You know, so I can't. I have to kind of ease into my bed.
Okay. Let's see here. So how do you clean your bottles?
You can buy bottle brushes, of various diameters, various size bottles, to where I just clean them in the sink. Just rinse them out and then use the brush to get any big chunks of. But I'm not. I don't necessarily want it to be clean and brand new looking. I like a little bit of, like on my relics that I dig, I like a little of the original dirt still on them. So I don't mind my bottles having a little bit of dirt still in them. That just reminds me that that I found them.
Yeah. If like a bunch of like, if I were to pull out like something that I found, anything, and there's not a single speck of dust on that thing, you can probably say for sure that I actually received it from someone else. But
Exactly.
my eyes. But most of the things I have dirt on them. Therefore, you can be like, "Oh yes, you found this." So it also shows as a bit of proof that it wasn't like I made this recently.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that authenticity.
Yeah,
That's the word I was looking for.
yeah, authenticity. Um, what's it called? Unless you're talking about like silver stuff. Silver has this weird thing where it's like, yeah, put dirt on it and it goes, no, get on out of here. You pull it out into the ground and it's like, hi, I was just made like a few days ago. Not. It comes out like almost
Yeah, so
pristine sometimes.
yeah, gold as well. Some of your precious metals.
Yeah. A lot of your, well, some precious metals, like you said, when they come out of the ground, they have that nice shine to it.
Yeah. Sometimes I dig silverware, and it doesn't take but a second to tell if it's plated silver or actual sterling silver.
Yeah. Speaking of precious metals, have you ever found any like silver or gold while you're bottle digging?
Yes. Well, not silver and gold while I was bottle digging. No, I haven't. I don't want to lie.
Okay. I don't think I have either.
I found a V-nickel.
My dad found a V-nickel while he was bottle digging.
Yeah, I've never found anything like that while I was bottle digging.
What's the biggest
Um,
bottle dig he's done?
so what's the biggest? Wait, let me see if I got this right. What is the biggest bottle dig that you have done?
Um, the biggest one I've done is the trash pit the family trash pit. That's the one I've been focusing on because it's somewhere where I can get to it a lot. So I keep going and going and going. So I've pulled out. I'm well over 200 bottles.
Nice. I believe the biggest one we've ever done was we went out to this one area. I can't remember the place of it.
Long Branch.
It was
A whole big. It was a dump.
there was a place in Long Branch. Used to be a whole big dump there. If you had bottles, they probably went there at one point if you lived back then. So like we went out there and we were just digging and digging. We found a few bottles out there. It was pretty good. I think that's where you found that one milk bottle. That was.
Found about 100 of those. 100 milk bottles there.
He found. My dad says he found about 100 milk bottles there, so he didn't find a few.
And almost 150.
Hey Matty, I'm gonna give me 2 minutes. Or give me actually about 30 seconds. I gotta run get a charger for my phone. This is killing my phone battery.
Okay, you can go get your charger.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Maybe.
Show people your bottles.
Don't go anywhere.
All right, we won't. Maybe do the thing where you get rid of his camera for a second. We are learning how to use OBS as we go on. So with the power of OBS transition, we can make his video disappear for now. We also have this little tiny bottle that says Company Inc. It says the Bayer. It was aspirin in this. So I believe if you had like a headache, it's like, yeah. And we also have this really dark blue, purplish bottle. Really interesting there.
We got 100 of those up in the attic somewhere.
We have a ton of these things. So
Show them the bottle. You know what? Why don't we do a giveaway?
You know what? Well, why don't we do a giveaway? Yeah, why don't we do a giveaway? Wait.
I got one more name.
Yeah. Don't worry, take your time.
There we go.
There we go.
I put it in.
So, we're going to do another giveaway. Shake up this a little bit. So what we are going to give away is, we're going to give away the United States Mint Proof set from 1971.
It's the PND, I think. What happened?
Uh-oh, spaghetti-o.
I'm here. Don't worry.
Yeah, but
I'm here.
the video wasn't. Okay, he knows. Just give him a minute. Alright, so we're gonna shake this up a bit. We're gonna pull out a name. And I hope I say this name right. Joe Mitson, are you here?
Oh my god. You took the last guy that said.
Joe Mitson, are you here?
Joe!
Are you here? Joe Mitson. J-O-E.
Joe Mitson, are you blitzing?
M-I-T-Z-E-N. Are you here? Yeah, blah.
Snooze, you lose.
Okay. Lots of people are watching tonight. So, while we are waiting for Joe Mitson... Oh, wait. He is here! Congratulations, Joe Mitson.
Way to go, Joe!
Get your information out to us. We will send out your prize.
I know Joe Mitson. I think he's in prison. Hold on a second. Are you sure? You might want to check that.
Wait a minute. So, let's see here. What are some of the best bottles you have found? Or did I already ask you that?
No, the most significant bottles I found were the local bottles. And I think once you start digging bottles, when you start getting stuff that's close to home and it starts having, names on it like the town you live in or the town next door, and you know that they don't make the stuff and the company's been long gone. That's the kind of stuff that I get the most excited about.
Yeah.
Now, I love finding Clorox bottles. I've probably got 7 or 8 Clorox bottles from the 1940s. I love finding them. They're not worth anything, but they're really, really cool. And
Yeah.
any kind of embossed bottles, whiskey bottles. I've got Gordon's gin bottles, from Linden, New Jersey, embossed. I mean, I love anything embossed at all. But the local stuff is the stuff that when I'm in a place, when I'm digging close to home, that's what I'm really looking for.
Yeah. When you find a bottle and like say in my case it's like a nearby town, that like bit of like, man, this was made so close to me and the company's so long gone, like you said, it like you get that bit of happiness. It's like, I found this. Nice.
Yeah, it's a piece of history, man.
Yeah, that's why I like this the Forked River one so much. That's pretty close to us. Forked River.
Yeah, and that's got more sentimental attachment because it's close to home. It
Yeah.
might not be as expensive if you sold it, but it's got sentimental attachment because it's near you. That's the good thing about bottle digging. Anybody can be a bottle digger. You don't have to have thousands of dollars worth of special equipment. You don't have to have all this, computer programs to research with. All
Yeah.
you have to have is some old houses around and, a hand shovel, and you're good to go.
Yeah. And what also makes it special is I found it in Forked River. So yeah.
There you go.
I mean, you could say, oh, well, yeah, you have a higher chance of finding something from Forked River in Forked River, but that's like that's like saying if you go to New York, you have a less chance of you have like if you go to New York, you have a higher chance of finding something from New York. you
Well,
know.
you would hope.
What was that?
I said you would hope so, right?
Yeah, you would hope so.
Somebody asked if you ever sold any of his bottles.
Someone has asked, have you ever sold any of your bottles before?
Uh, I've sold some bottles here and there that we've dug, but we weren't really digging for bottles per se. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've sold some. The ones I dug out of the family spot, no, I haven't sold. I gave one to Eric Turner, my buddy from the band Warrant. I signed one for him and for his wife Kirsten, and that's the only one that is not still, that I don't still have. That's to me, it's family heirlooms in a weird sense, even though it's like I'm picking through my ancestors' garbage. To me, it's I never got to meet a lot of these people, and here I am getting to handle the things that they used every day. So
Yeah.
it would be hard for me to sell that stuff.
Yeah. If I find something, we have rings that are about like this size from my great uncle. He was really tall, and at one point I'm pretty sure he was the tallest man in the world at one point. Um he worked at a circus, and he had like really big fingers. He had rings that they would sell, and they said Altamani on them. We have a few of them, and although I believe neither me or my dad ever met him, we have. Did you ever meet? No. Even though neither of
Yeah, and every
us.
time you pick up that ring, it's like you're shaking hands.
Yeah. No, my dad's gonna go find one now. Great. I shouldn't have mentioned it. Yeah, he's gonna go grab one now. You'll be able to see how big those things are. Yeah, the what's it called? Whenever sometimes I'll just be in the other room and I hear my dad going, "Hey, someone's selling a Tamani bottle online," or like someone's selling an Al Tamani ring online. We have to buy it because it's like,
Yeah, yeah. Actually, there you go. Let's see.
see the
Oh yeah,
size.
that's like a Rick. That's a Rick size ring right there, man.
You think this would fit you? That'd
I
probably
wear
fit
like
you.
a I wear like a 15 ring.
What size ring do you think this is, Dad? He says he wears like a size 15.
That's probably a 15 right there you're holding.
Hmm.
Oh, bigger than my thumb.
It's bigger than my dad's thumb, so yeah.
You got a thumb and a pinky in there.
My dad can fit a thumb and a pinky. I can fit a thumb, a pinky, and ring finger. That's how
Big
big
boy.
that's how big those things are. and he'd wear that on like all of his hands. So yeah, that's we take these as like reminders that in the past we've had family members that had quite the history.
That's pretty cool being in the circus.
And here's the thing, his wife, they were him and his wife were known as the world's oddest couple. He was really, really tall. His wife was born without legs. She was really small. Her name was Jeannie Toomey. If you look up Al Toomey online, you'll find pictures of him holding her like this, just holding her and with one arm.
But none of those women were ever born without a mouth. I swear, they had legs, arms, but they never born without a mouth. I don't know.
That was probably something that went right
There's
over
a
my
woman
head.
out there going, I can't believe he just said that. That is so misogynistic. Get a
Uh,
sense of humor.
What do you say?
I'll tell you after the show. Anyways, so yeah, let's continue with the show. So let's see. What is I know that earlier I said like the amount of money that a bottle doesn't really matter. It only matters to you how much it's worth to you. But there's a but. If you find a bottle that's not special to you and it's worth like $1 million, what is the most expensive bottle that you have ever found?
I think the most expensive one I ever found was one of those. They we dug it in a colonial site. It was a bottle that came off a ship, so it had a funny flat bottom, so that when you had it sitting on a table and the boat was bumping around, that it wouldn't tip over. So
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, goes out of my head now, but that bottle, some of those old bottles like that, I think we got $1,200 for that one.
Ah, nice.
And then you have those South Carolina dispensary bottles, pre-Civil War. They go for 300-400 bucks, and I know a lot of my low country digging brothers pull up a lot of those.
Ah, nice. Nice. So it seems like the one from the boat was the most expensive. You made $1,200 on that?
Yeah, yeah, that particular one, it was because of where it came from, the date with it. It was in great condition.
Yeah.
It was just one of those ones. It came.
One of the one of a
God,
kinds.
yeah, yeah. We found a lot of interesting bottles, but that was the one that commanded the most.
Nice. Think
And I mean, the average bottle you're going to find, even if it's super rare, isn't going to be worth more than about 50 or $60 in a general thing.
yeah.
So you're not going to get stinking rich, being a bottle digger.
Yeah.
But to me, it's digging's never been about money. Money is just a way of, being able to provide you with the tools you need and with the time you need. But money was never the object. It was always the history and getting close to it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going out to like bottle dig or melt or like, what I do, metal detecting for just for the profit of it, I feel like you're not truly a bottle digger or a detectorist, in my opinion.
Yeah, but how many people do you meet that metal detect that don't love it? That don't really have that. I don't meet too many.
Yeah.
Maybe your beach people, maybe the people that live on the beach and they're looking for, Mr. and Mrs. Smith's class ring that they lost in 1958 or something. Maybe they're more in it for the money than they
Yeah.
obviously you're not really looking for history when you're beach digging. But treasure hunting is fun because, even though you're digging, you find a lot of modern stuff. You never know. You might find that old coin from the 1700s, if the sand's been turned up after a big storm or something. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. If you're on like the beach and like you just said, and like pretty sure we've heard something where there was after Hurricane Sandy and all the beaches got turned up, there was like gold coins on the beach and people were finding them and stuff.
Yeah, after a hurricane or a big storm, it's always a good time to go to the beach to dig. That's when a lot of you'll see an article in the paper about how they just the bones of an old ship just turned up because all the silt got moved in a storm. So
Yeah.
that's always people have always liked to go digging and poking around after a storm.
Yeah. Speaking of storms, quick trivia. Do you know what the largest hurricane when it comes to like just pure size, not like wind speed or anything. Just well, not the largest, but the largest to hit the United States in pure size was?
Think was it Hurricane Hazel?
No. It took up the entire East Coast. It was Hurricane Sandy.
Sandy. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was also the second largest to have ever hit the world.
Somebody asked if you still metal detect.
Someone has asked if you still metal detect.
Yes, I do still metal detect. The bottle hunting, I'm one of these people that when I get into something, I'm in it.
Yeah.
So when I got into the bottle hunting, it was like all I wanted to do was go hunt bottles. So I still metal detect, absolutely. But right now I'm kind of in my bottle digging phase, if you will. So while I'm still metal detecting, bottles are really my focus. Trash pit digging, I love it.
Yeah. Um, let's see here. Hold on. There it is. So, can you tell how I know you said earlier a bit about this, but how do you tell the age of a bottle?
I you can look like on the base of the bottle. If you look on the base of this one, I don't know how easy you can see, but it's got a maker's mark, and that tells you the company that made the bottle. And then when you find that maker's mark, I went online and there's all sorts of resources that you can use that tell you what maker's mark go with what companies and what years they were making stuff. Like this bottle was made at their plant number 12 and it was made in 1940 because there's the zero.
Ah,
So you can date bottles that way. A lot of it's on the basis
I
of the
see.
stuff in the 20th century. The older ones, obviously, with the Pownal scars, those tend to date, into the 19th century and the very early 20th century. But once they started making machine bottles, then it changed. So you can find a bottle like this where the mold seam runs up to the lip, and some of them the lip was applied, like the top of it was applied,
Yeah,
or like in the case, like I said, like in this Rexall bottle, you can see the mold seam runs all the way up to the top to the bottom. It's just two pieces. That's the machine bottles, and that's from the early 1900s until now. That's how they make them. So,
yeah. Um,
but there's a lot of references online to figure out the maker's marks for bottles. It's just you got to read through a lot of boring stuff to get to it.
yeah. In your opinion, how old do you think this bottle is? To the like the width?
I can't see it as well on
Oh
that
yeah,
camera.
you're on that camera.
I need to see the base of it. If you could
Yeah, let me just
hold the base up closer.
for those of you.
Yeah, you got bubbles in it. I would say that one's 1890s,
Yeah,
1880s, 1890s
nice.
would be my guess off the top of my head.
So for those of you who don't know, we have two cameras because Skype wants to be a special little network that wants its own little camera to itself. So we have to have one camera over there so Ric Savage can see us, one camera right here so you guys can see us. So yeah.
Cleaning bottles.
So how about we already asked him that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we already asked about cleaning bottles. So what are some of we already asked what are some of the other things
Flip
that
the page.
um here's this. How do you, when you're out and you're bottle digging and you're wrapping up to go leave, how do you carry your bottles? Like, do you just put them in a bucket or do like you have something special you put it in?
I guess it would depend on person to person. My suggestion is to bring a nice cardboard box with some bubble wrap, or some old newspaper, just like you when you go to the Goodwill, they wrap your stuff in paper and just wrap the bottles as you go.
Yeah.
Any bottle you decide that you want to keep, set it aside and then wrap it before you leave.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can tell, but as the show goes on, like every so often my face will get brighter, but it has a flashlight over there and it's like boom. Dark light.
I look better in the dark, I can tell you now.
Yeah. Let's see here. Wait, now I have to go to the other page. So, have you ever accidentally broken one of your bottles?
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst is when you break them. And have I done it? Yes. Or what's even worse is you're digging and you see the base of it and it's a really big one, like a Clorox bottle,
Yeah.
and you're digging, you're getting around, and you realize it's like half of it,
Yeah.
and you just dug for 10 minutes to get it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've broken them. Oh, it broke my heart. I had a few beautiful old medicine bottles, the cork top medicine bottles, and I broke one. Shovel went right into it. It just
Ah.
it happens, man. It's like when you're digging. I mean, how many times I've been at a relic show and I've seen shovel marks on Civil War bullets or
Ugh.
other Civil War stuff where it clanged into the face of the buckle or whatever. You
Oh.
know.
That's a horrible sight when you're walking around. It's like, oh wow, this guy found a real, and there's a big shovel dent in the face of the guy, and it's like.
It happens.
And quick question: have you ever accidentally broken any of your bottles when you're just around your house and you yell "boom, baby" and you just hear in the other room?
I'll tell you the one bottle that I broke that I almost cried, and I'm not kidding. When we were filming the second season of the show, the actor Bill Paxton, the late great Bill Paxton, contacted me before the season started and wanted to do a dig in Indiana and New Harmony in this old harmonist community because he had accidentally stumbled onto an old trash pit full of bottles and crap there when he was out doing scouting for he was going to make a Twister 2.
Hmm.
So he contacted me. We went there. We did the dig together. And right at the end of the dig, I had a Hostetter's bitters bottle fall out of the
Ooh.
side of the hole I was in. And Bill was on the other side of the hole. And a perfectly intact Edison light bulb popped out of his side at the exact same moment. And, that Hostetter bitters bottle was my best find of the day. And that Edison light bulb was his. So we took pictures with him, and I had that bitters bottle, and I had it for years. Right? We bought our house, and I went in and I set it up on the mantelpiece, and then I was hooking up my TV, and the cord came down and smacked that bitters bottle off, and it shattered on the floor. And I'm thinking,
Ah.
yeah, I can't replace. I've got the pieces in a box, and one day I'm going to try to glue it back together. But I wanted to cry because that was a once in a lifetime. That one is one of those relics that has a lot of emotional attachment to it, and I'm a big stupid rhinoceros sometimes, and I broke it.
Yeah. I hate it when you drop something that you use like so much and you just it's like everything goes in slow motion. You just see it and then you hear.
Yep, I'd rather break an iPhone than have broken that bottle.
Yeah. So, in memory of the bottle, we are going to do a giveaway. We're going to do our final giveaway of the night. If you win, you will receive a Calico coin pouch and a T-shirt that says "Pirates hate me a lot." It only comes in size large. If you don't wear a size large, deal with it then. So we're gonna take our bucket. We're gonna shake it up a bit. Gonna
We got any guys from Kentucky out there watching?
has real quick before we say who this is. Anyone out there from Kentucky? Put in the comments section, and I'll also be looking. And the winner is,
Who is it?
I don't know how to say their name. Can you read that for me real quick?
Con Mullen.
Con Mullen, are you here? Con Mullen. CONMULLEN. Believe that's how you say it. Con Mullen. So, while we are waiting for them to respond, how many of you guys watching have had something that you just like so much and then it breaks on you? If you have any stories about that, put it in the comment section.
When your dad and I first got
Mhm.
married, he had a beautiful seltzer bottle, a mini
Ooh.
bottle, and when we moved, we opened the box and it was just in a million pieces.
Ah, my mother just told me that when my father had a beautiful seltzer bottle. It was one of the most beautiful things, and they put it in a box when they moved. And when they opened up the box, there was no bottle there. There was a million pieces in it, in the where it was.
You know, I went bottle digging. I dug this nice inkwell, blue inkwell. And as I pulled it out, it was a wasp nest, and all the wasps came out after me. And I threw my shovel down, and it shattered the bottle.
Ah,
Thrown that one.
I don't know if any of you just heard that one, but my dad was bottle digging, and he pulled out a beautiful blue inkwell. The most beautiful thing. But along with it came, you ever see those things where it's like you have to get the like the reward, but when you pull it out a curse comes with it? It was sort of like that thing. A wasp nest came out with it, and all the wasps were coming out. And my dad threw his shovel and it went right into the inkwell and destroyed the thing.
Okay, pick another name.
It happens, man.
So we're going to pull another name because he is not here.
So con job didn't make it.
No, he did not.
Somebody's from Kentucky.
That's your mother back there?
Yes, but the view.
I thought it was yours. I bet this whole time I thought that was your sister.
Huh.
Lord have mercy.
Maybe they'll see Colin.
Yeah, she does look a day. She doesn't look a day over 20.
What happened?
He thought that you were my sister.
Oh.
Rocky L. Geralds, are you here?
Rocky Geralds. I know that name. Rocky Geralds. I think he owes me $20.
You know everyone. Oh, everyone owes you something.
They owe me money, man. Rocky Geralds, you owe me $20. I know you do. And only you know why.
So Rocky L. Geralds, are you here?
He's here.
Rocky L. Geralds is here. Congratulations. Get your information out to us, and we will send out your prize.
Alright, we gotta finish this up.
So we're gonna start wrapping up the shows, right?
What's in store for him?
So real quickly, what is in store in the future for Ric Savage?
Well, first we got to get through this coronavirus nightmare that we're all kind of in suspended animation in the middle of right now.
Yeah.
But after that, it's gonna be we're gonna be digging. I'm back in digging pretty much full steam. I took about a 5 or 6 year break. I spent a lot of time in the rock and roll world, living an 80s fanboy dream, and now I'm ready to get back to doing what I do best, what I love to do, what makes me happy, and just keep kicking maximum wads of butt out there. And we're gonna have a lot of fun. So I'll have a new YouTube channel going up. I'm gonna have a website going up. It's all going to be there, but again, we just gotta get through this, virus thing first.
Yeah. But eventually we will kick this virus's butt right out of Earth.
That's right.
So,
thank you, Communist China. We appreciate you sharing it with us.
thank you, China.
Schmuck.
So, really quickly, you know how I believe both times you've been on my show, you have said a certain something. which kind of blows out everyone's eardrums. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Is it right?
I do know what that is. Is that what you want right now?
Is there by any chance you can say it?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are close to your phones or your listening device, you might want to back up a little bit. We're getting ready to get seismic. We're getting ready to make the rump thump. We're getting ready to kick some major tail. Boom, baby!
Luckily,
Like that, baby.
good thing I.
Smoky Mountain, North Carolina style, kicking like Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Nice. Good thing I took this off because I could hear everything you said, especially the boom baby.
That's what I do, man.
So, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure if you're while you're looking up when you're looking up Ric Savage's YouTube channel, you also go drop by at Diggin' Adventures and make sure you subscribe while you're there. And thank you guys for watching. Get out and have a diggin' adventure.